I would just like to say, I live right outside Detroit, and I have in this glass some Faygo Red Pop. And I purposely said pop as northern as I could. I don't ever say it like that, but for the sake of all those northerners out there listening, you're welcome.
I've got Sneak.
Sneak? Yeah, what is Sneak?
It's an energy drink. Now it sounds like we're like plugging their product. No, it's just like a
sponsorship.
It's like a no sugar energy drink. It's just vitamins and caffeine.
Oh, that's cool. Is Zach drinking Starbucks?
It's actually Folgers.
Okay, I gotta go.
Some individuals in Kentucky. Whoa, that sounded cool.
Who's that guy? I want him to be on this episode.
Some people in Kentucky would refer to it as Folgers. You heard that, Paul? Have you heard Deep Kentucky? People be like,
Folgers.
It was the morning, and I was drinking Folgers, and I told him, like they take all the L's out of things.
Yeah, we don't use L's.
We
don't use L's. We add R's to extra words.
What's that?
We add R's to other words too.
Yeah,
like
I
warsh.
miss Southern folk.
Warsh. All right, guys. Well, episode 2. It's been It's been a month. Can you guys believe
weird.
it?
That's crazy.
You guys have gotten a lot done this month. I've gotten very little else other than growing hair.
It looks great, bro.
This is what I used to. So here, if you take the glasses off, this is what I looked like for.
It's like a whole new
the
Zach.
Majority of high school.
Nah, this is like old Zach.
This is weird.
Before I decided contacts weren't for me.
I respect that. I've never tried them. I've been too scared.
If you go on our Instagram, you can see a few photos from our first couple stripped shows where Nick and I did. That's a weird phrase, isn't it?
I was like, oh, you guys were in that entertainment industry.
Where we did just the 2-piece, and I decided for that it was literally like 2 months where I was on this kick where in my mind rock stars did not wear glasses. Did I talk about this last podcast?
I don't think so. Maybe. It's been a month, dude. I don't remember.
And so I decided that I wasn't going to wear glasses, but then the contacts make my eyes really dry, and I end up blinking a lot, and then I stop blinking because I'm like trying not to blink. Oh. Dang. So here I am going to wear glasses. Hopefully we
you rock
prove people wrong.
Prove them wrong.
Yeah.
And my favorite, Zach, we were watching because you had made that statement that rock stars don't wear glasses, and you were like trying to just not for every show and appearance that we did. And then we watched the night game live from the YouTube space, and literally everybody except Martin is
everyone's wearing glasses.
That's awesome.
Man. Every single person.
Gotta represent, man.
Speaking of the night game, they're coming out with they're doing a really interesting thing with their record. They're doing 11 installments. So they're releasing 11 singles as a record, but at separate times.
Dude,
crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, it's been a crazy week for me. The night game announced their release, and then Neon Trees just announced their release. So I'm ready for some. That's pretty much the two spectrums of my interest in music: Neon Trees and the night game.
Dude, that's sweet.
1975's got one coming out soon-ish.
I can't keep up with the 1975. They're beyond what I am able to.
They're so artistic.
Pursue, yeah. They're doing so much different. I don't know, so much different stuff.
They do all the things.
So what are you guys doing? Yeah. What are you guys been up to? I mean, recording.
World of Warcraft.
Wow.
See, I looked that up. You said World of Warcraft was free. I didn't see. It was something about like up to a certain level. You can only level
20.
up. Oh, I don't know. I was looking at. Admittedly, I was looking at work on lunch, and I was like, I can't get into this right now.
I respect that.
Yeah, no, just being a total nerd. I've recorded, and then since I'm not at work right now, like if I'm not recording, I'm at home taking care of the kids and playing video games.
Oh yeah, I've been. I'm back into video games a little bit now too. I've been playing Assassin's Creed.
That's so great.
Black Flag, if anyone's interested, which everyone hated, but I love it. It's my first Assassin's Creed game.
Look at you go,
Paul. You've been Nick's been crazy productive music wise, but you have been like all over the map, dude.
You're not wrong.
You've written like you've written I don't know how many songs and how many different genres.
A lot. I have a bad habit. Some people do drugs. I write songs.
You can ask Nick. It took me a while to come to terms with the fact that Nick was a great songwriter as well, because I like to feel like I'm the only special person, you know?
We're all special, guys.
Paul, if I had met you before I got into, well, not even before, just before where I am now, I would have been like so ticked off that you were such a good songwriter.
Well, thank you.
I'm like, who does this guy think he is?
Yeah. I don't know. Still working on that part, so. Just some balded, bearded guy from Detroit. It's no big deal. No,
Yes.
Yeah, I've been having fun with, like, you know, the little home setup I got up here. So it took a couple days to get some stuff worked out. I had some issues. Well, we could probably talk about that later, but just with some latency crap and trying to get my keyboard set up and all that junk. But it's been good. And then Pops got me, it was a Christmas/birthday present. I got a new reverb pedal, so I've been having a blast with that. It's, yeah, all the indie things are now going to happen. I'm so pumped. So, yeah, I got some stuff in the works. I don't know what I'm going to do with it all, but I'm like, you know what? Might as well go for it.
Do you have an indie project?
No. And what's funny is I've been trying to start one for like at least 5 years. And no one ever seems interested. So now I'm just like, I'm just going to do it myself. And so probably going to buy a bass soon just to have one here so I can just practice and track some stuff. But yeah, like, I think it was 3 years ago, I got super, super into Hippocampus. I don't know if you guys listen to them, but they're, like top 10 favorite bands. I saw them in 2018 and was just blown away. Because I love all their records. Like, they have not had a bad release. But, yeah, I love their sound, just their use of pedals and lyrics and just their production and, like, everything. And they're, I don't know, they jam a fair bit live, and it's just cool because they're just incredible musicians. So, but, yeah, it's nice to kind of have, I don't know, some ways of kind of showing that, you know, they're an inspiration. So, but, yeah.
You were talking about hair. We kind of touched on this a little earlier, but it's I kind of envy the shaved, you know, kind of envy the shaved look at this point.
No joke.
Mine, like I can't think of a day, more than one day in a row in recent history other than now where I've styled my hair down. It usually stands straight up in the front, and it no longer does that.
Yeah.
So, I was very close to if I have like a hair trimmer, but it doesn't have a guard on it, so I couldn't. It would just be like stubble short, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, at the very least, I could take like the longest guard setting and just shave the whole thing that long, and then
no.
So
Nick's like, no, bad idea.
So
bad
here
idea.
I am.
No, Zach, I did that once in
Never
Campbellsville, like my second semester of college. Yeah, everybody's out. You did the same thing. You're like,
I'm
just gonna shave my head.
I said do it a zero guard all the way around. They were
no, man. I used it was just my beard trimmer at the time on the longest setting. I looked like Taxi Driver.
Nice.
Okay. I personally feel like I pulled the bald head, you know, big beard thing off.
It's a very...
And everyone told me for years I could do it, and I was like, no. So even though I've been balding since like 22, I didn't start doing this till like 26. And there's days I like it, and there's days I'm like, I just miss having hair to like headbang. And what's funny is I have this circle like right here, just this little circle that still grows. I actually grew it out for a year once. And just cause I wanted to prove a point.
That's great. So you look like you play for the Misfits?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. You're not wrong. But
that was a hairstyle on Pro Skater for a while, I think.
Yeah. I think one of the
vocalists... You could just have the like...
Oh, yeah. One of the guys in Haste the Day had something kind of like that once. And I was like, oh, cool, because Haste the Day was great. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. But I appreciate it, man. You know, I still appreciate good hair. It doesn't grow. So if I grew it out, it'd just be bad. I've thought about getting wigs and just when I meet new people just to see, and the
Different
next time
wigs,
they see
different
me,
people.
it's bald, and they'll be like, "Oh, you shaved your head." I'm like, "Ha ha, yeah,
Well,
I shaved it."
I don't mean
You
to make
just
fun.
pretend like you don't even notice. Just like,
Yeah, be like,
no,
huh?
what are you
What?
talking about?
I've always been this way. I thought you had hair last time. No, last time. Who are you?
I don't mean to make fun of how many projects you're in, because I think that is actually pretty cool.
It's horrible.
Paul,
It's a
that you're
bad
able
habit.
to like branch out to different genres, and like props to you because you give them all equal attention. It's not like we feel like we're ever on the back burner or anything, but you should, if you decide to ever go wigs, because that's very in right now. I think
It's true. It's
you
true.
should do like genre-based wigs.
Dude, that's genius. I'd be down. I would be I could do that. That'd be great. That'd be a good time. Also, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I don't want to talk about your hair or my hair for the whole podcast.
It's great.
Do you do that with hats? Do you have like, oh, this hat is a My Landing hat. This hat's the OK hat.
Yeah, dude. Well, I haven't settled on which one's going to be the okay hat yet. I got some ideas. But yeah, I have I've got this like fedora thing, but it's not like a lame fedora. Even though I bought it at like Target for like $10 a few years ago. But
I thought
I love it.
I had a baseball cap that I was going to wear for. I mean, I don't really wear hats, but I kind of thought like for today even, I would cover the weird hair with a hat. And what happened is like it's very puffy, so like with the hat pushing down, it just pops out to the side.
Yeah. Got that like mid 2000s look.
And so I actually realized my head is a lot shorter than I thought. Anyway,
Nothing wrong with that.
moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Are you
So-
wearing a Canada shirt?
Yeah, Canada.
Oh, yeah.
what's it say?
So proud
the
of you.
The True North. The True North.
The Great White
Established
North.
1867. I got this at a Kentucky Goodwill.
That's amazing.
So I
Yeah,
don't-
that's where I got mine.
That is so great.
so a lot of people don't know this, but the OK actually has a style guide, which we kind of loosely adhere to. Or rather, I'll say I have a style guide that I created for myself, and it's available to you guys as well.
Oh, okay.
But the best way to explain it is like Goodwill chic, thrift shoppy. It's got a very like, if this were not such a like kind of worn out looking weird tourist shirt, I wouldn't. It wouldn't be a part of the. You guys are looking at me so weird right now.
I love it. I love it. I was just entranced by the whole, we have a look. We're so cool.
Oh, I mean that's
Well-
what I meant.
On that note, I was kind of, waiting for you guys to say something. But because that's, super wrong of me, I would just like to say May has been Spirit Month at work. So today
What?
was, because my Starbucks is the best. So today was hula/Hawaiian. So I wore this Hawaiian shirt, the only one I own that I actually bought to wear to a funeral.
Oh,
And not recently. It's a couple years ago. So the guy who died loved Hawaiian shirts. So
well,
we
that's
all,
a very cool way to honor him.
yeah. It was like weird at first because I'm like, I get to wear this to a funeral. Like, is this okay? But it was awesome. Everybody had them on. It was a good time. But anyway, I wore this and my official My Landing hat, the fedora in my logo.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone was like, dude, you look great. You should like be on the beach or something. I'm like, I wish I was on the beach right now. But I'm here making coffee, and I love it.
I guess I would have mentioned that. Oh, cool Hawaiian shirt. I thought it was just like I can't really see your video all that well. I thought it was like maybe
gotcha.
floral printed, like a standard floral print. Because
That's kind of why I bought this one, because it's not quite as bright as the normal obnoxious Hawaiian shirts.
yeah, like
that I
yours
really
isn't
don't
crazy,
like.
but quote crazy shirts are very stylish right now. I've had to
True.
refrain from buying a few. So
Hey, man, I support you. I got one with popsicles on it. It's pretty cool.
actually,
It's legit.
I have a lot of weird complexes with my style. Like I really want to be mature looking, but also not too preppy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to look standard, but I don't want to look like a little kid, like a grown up who's in denial. So I try to avoid things. So I made this rule a while back that I would not get, because it was very popular for a while to have like button shirts with bananas and ice cream cones and
Yeah.
chickens. Like they do like a tiled pattern with those. And I said, I'm never wearing those ever again, because I had one or two. And then I stumbled across I think it's flamingos or something
Dude,
like that.
flamingos were in for a bit.
And it's Taylor's favorite shirt. When we go on vacation, she's like, you got to wear that one. So,
Bro, if the wife's happy, it's all good.
Yep. All for her.
Not like I know, but just from what I hear. So
we should, see, on the other end of that spectrum, like I wear Crocs all the time just to get under her skin because she hates them.
I love it.
Rock on with your Crocs on.
Oh, yeah.
It's either Crocs or Docs.
Crocs or Docs.
That's all that I wear.
Wow.
And if they could combine the two into some Croc Martens, I'd be all over it.
Dude. Could you imagine?
Oh,
if they do that, can we get sponsored?
The Comfortable Punk.
Could you imagine if we were sponsored? But I mean, sure, we could get a Croc sponsorship, no problem.
You think so? Can we just approve?
I don't think.
All right, listeners, viewers, stay tuned. We are going to get a Croc sponsorship.
Yes.
No.
They sell like regular-ish shoes, right?
Well, they made those Post Malone Crocs. He's done like 2 or 3 sets of them.
We should.
Where they're like modeled after his album artwork.
We've got to get in that market.
We do.
I don't know. This is not to make this whole podcast about me, but I also had this weird thing for a time where I would only wear Nikes or Nike. What's the word? Where it's like owned by that parent company, like
Umbrella.
Yeah, child companies of Nike. So I would wear Nike and I would wear Converse on stage. And then I finally broke free of that with my Docs. So I started wearing Doc Martens. But Nick and I found a loophole. Apparently, the United States factory or shop or whatever where they make the Docs, some random dude that helped design them or something like that worked at Nike forever ago. So
interesting.
All is good.
So wait, what Nikes did you wear?
I actually really got into a big... it was a different time, man.
So Zach
I would
used
wear
to work
like
at Shoe
leather
Carnival.
high tops and stuff. Like I would wear I really like the Flights, but I like the Flight Falcons, so like the really gaudy looking Flights, kind of like Jordans, but really not.
Yeah.
And then I had a pair of like just plain black.
The shoes that Forever the Sickest Kids wore back in like 2009.
Oh boy.
I mean, here's the deal. I got a steep discount for working at Shoe Carnival to make that okay, but I owned like 4 or 5 pair, and they just don't like. I could not, as a respecting adult, see myself wearing those, just because it's not my personality type at all.
Yeah, yeah.
But they were like $95, $120, which is for a sneakerhead like pretty cheap, but for me, who's just a normal dude, kind of crazy.
Well, I remember when you bought your Nord or something for the first time. You actually sold off some sneakers to pay for part of your gear.
It's like, gotta get these, gotta get rid of these.
Dang, I got gifted a pair of Nike Monarchs like 3 years ago, and I was like, these are like the most, stereotypical dad shoes. And
are they white?
White, red, and black, bro.
Oh,
my friend felt bad for me because I was super broke and my shoes were falling apart. So he gave me those, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be mad, even though I don't really like these. But they were comfy. So anyway, I thought I gave them away. I found them at the beginning of quarantine, and I wore them for like 3 weeks straight. Every time I went to the store, went for a walk, and I freaking love them. So one of these days, I'm gonna wear them to work just to see what people say.
When I first started working at Shoe Carnival, the store I worked at carried a single pair of, well, it wasn't a single style of Velcro shoes for men. And
I love Velcro shoes.
They were obviously meant for like, people that were having issues with tying their laces and stuff like that. But I kind of questioned my store manager. I was like, what's up with the Velcro shoes? And they were like, obviously like, oh, those for, we keep those in stock. Then they said, no joke, try them on. They're the most comfortable shoes in the store. I was like,
they were.
There's no way. But then I tried them on. They were.
Can we get Velcro shoes? Can we add that to the
Velcro Crocs?
Dude, yes!
Velcro Crocs. Wow.
Velcro Croc Martens.
Yeah, we're not that, I don't think we're that banned, but we could figure it out.
This spiraled out of control real fast.
No, this is great. I have all the... I want a Velcro shoe with just one big Velcro strap.
Oh, gosh.
Anyway, we can move on.
Anyone have time on this?
I got like 20 minutes.
Oh, 20 minutes. Oh, not long at all.
No, we're great. We got
20 minutes,
3 hours
all
to
the time. All the time.
Hey, like Zach and I talked about the other night, Joe Rogan talks for like 4 hours, so let's go.
Joe Rogan's the bomb.
Speaking of
Joe Rogan, if you're listening,
We love you.
Did you hear he's going exclusively to Spotify?
What?
And that's fine. We love Spotify, but that seems like an interesting deal. I'm curious how much money is involved because it would. I mean, think about us as a band. If they were like, we want you to only release your music on Spotify, how much money would they have to include in that deal for it to be like something we even consider?
Well, yeah, especially considering
like
Spotify's popular. But
you're kind of saying, to your fans that don't prefer Spotify, like, you're going to have to figure it out.
Yeah, wow. But Joe, I mean, everyone will go to Spotify now who doesn't use it to listen.
I mean, I'm just glad he hasn't tried to start a cult. Is all I'm saying. Just glad he hasn't.
But I don't know. I'd consider that would probably be a really fun cult.
There would be a Netflix original about that. Instantly.
The Joe Brogan cult.
Joe Brogan.
It would just be called Brogan.
Brogan.
Because that's what Netflix does.
Turn in the book of Brogan to Second Joe, verse 2. Anyway,
Second Joe.
I was like, that's getting playfully sacrilegious, and then Second Joe got me. I can't be mad about that.
You're welcome. Anyway,
okay. Do we want to talk about album progress? We want to talk about that, or we want to keep that under wraps?
We have an album.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I would love to talk.
I mean, we're technically 2 songs in now.
Yeah, 2 songs in.
That's as far as we've gotten.
And
it's good though.
I'm really the holdup at this point, but I do want.
Yeah, I mean, I recorded 2 bass tracks.
I guess
like back to back before lunch.
That bass. Oh, sweet.
Shout out to I just blanked on his name.
Brian.
Brian. Yes. Shout out to Brian
Horsley
for letting us borrow the super sweet bass.
The sickest P bass I've ever played.
Dude, I want to see it at some point.
It's a 90s edition.
It's like a Japanese
or something like that.
Japanese photo flame.
Dang.
Yeah, here, hold on. See if we can.
Man, it's cool.
Pop that up.
I mean, I don't know who Brian is, but I like him. Thanks, Brian. Good guy.
Yeah, you do. You met him a long time ago. You remember when I was working for that
thing
church?
Out. Huh?
Oh, that's sweet.
It's an interesting looking bass. It sounds like you want it to sound. It sounds great.
That looks sweet. Okay, I kind of remember 1 or 2 of those guys, Nick. That was like 7 years ago, but
that was forever ago.
I vaguely remember. I don't know. One of them bought me food, so I remember that guy. This is how I roll. But anyway, yeah. So we're tracking stuff, and it's been
cool.
Great. Are we allowed to? What do you want to say something about the process? How it's been for each of us?
Let's talk about the process. Let's say this though. I don't want to like get people. Not that we have thousands of diehard fans quite yet, but let's not reveal the titles of anything yet.
Okay,
although I will say we have not named the EP at all, so
true.
There's no title to reveal. Ideas. But we will have a lead single for the EP, which interesting. I was thinking about that the other day. It's interesting to have a lead single for an EP, but
hey,
got to start somewhere.
That's right.
The process, I mean, I honestly 100% have not touched any of our songs since I sent the scratch tracks to Paul. So for me, not to get too technical in the, like I don't want to do like this, well, who cares? It's our podcast, right?
That's right.
Go for it.
So what I do is I open Reason, which is like a virtual instruments digital audio workstation, and play fake piano, and then I line it up with the click completely so that there's no variation or mistake in it. So that way everything timing-wise is coming from the click still. And then I sing the vocal over the top of that. This time around I sing it with is it Neewer? I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's probably the cheapest microphone you could possibly purchase, and its audio quality is slightly lesser than that of a Rock Band microphone.
Oh, wow, that's impressive.
And then I auto-tuned the heck out of it for no reason and sent it to Paul.
Oh, so those were auto-tuned, and here to think I was impressed.
Oh, sure.
Oh, you're gonna learn. Kidding. You're gonna learn real quick, Paul. Zach can pick out even the slightest bit of auto-tune from anything. It's like
it's an affliction.
It's like
almost.
if you were to go to Starbucks and you order something that has to be made in a shaker, and you take a sip of your drink and you go, did you make a tea in this shaker before you made my drink? That's the way Zach is with auto-tune.
Dude, I love it. That is so great.
It's weird because I've noticed a lot of people can't hear it, and I'm not upset with the use of auto-tune. We used vocal correction on our second Ocean City record, and it's not so much, I mean, my opinion on it anyway, it's not so much that I can't sing in key, because we've proven that I can.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, put me up. No, I'm just kidding. But it's really just one of those things that's become an industry standard. If you want...
You process every other instrument.
Yeah. If the bass was a little out of tune, you would tune up the bass a little bit. Like, I don't understand but you have to understand the genre. If you're going for something very organic and natural and folky, like, by all means, don't auto-tune. But if you're going for something that's pop produced, like if you're going to compress your vocal real tight and push it forward, why wouldn't you want it on pitch? Anyway, but yeah. But
I like it.
I honestly did that to the vocal on the scratch tracks because they sounded so terrible that I thought maybe at least they could be like in key. That way they wouldn't like mislead Nick when he was trying to do pitch bends and stuff like that. Anyway, that's the excuse I'll give.
Good excuse. I like it.
There's 2 bends so far. 2
bends
in the entire catalog.
And had you not auto-corrected your voice, those bends would have been awful.
Yeah. They would have been awful, man.
Thank you, Zach.
Benjamin
sacrifice.
I think actually 3 if you count the whammy pedal.
Yeah, Benjamin Franklin count? Over here.
Ew, that was a good one.
I tried to say it like 4 times. It made it less funny.
I heard it the 3rd and 4th time.
It's like when you say the joke again and someone says, "We heard you."
Ew.
Oh no, we heard you. Yeah,
we heard you the first time. So Paul, and then I bounced that over to you. What did you do? What was your process like?
So I pulled out my keyboard and found the absolute worst drum tones I could, and I just went do. No, I'm just kidding.
We've done that. We've done that too.
I know there's nothing wrong with that for those of you that do it, but I like the real feel and the real sound of drums.
Lots of elevators play Celine Dion. Don't make it right.
That was deep, man. That hit me.
Take your devil box and get out of here. Have you seen The Rocker?
Yes. It's been a while, but man, good times.
Move it, Moby.
Yeah, it's been fun, man. I've really enjoyed like self-recording. Oh, hey, look, Zoom just upgraded us. That was cool. I've enjoyed like.
I'm the one hosting this meeting, and it told Paul.
The drummer wins. This never happens. Let me have this moment, guys.
I'm not mad. I'm just, I just think it's funny.
Yeah. I don't know. I really enjoyed like being able to record from home and kind of get to experiment with mics and mic placement and all that stuff. And it's been a learning curve because I'm just not a technology person at all. Don't be fooled by, oh, look, he's got a little home studio. I have no clue what I'm doing. But it's been cool. I do enjoy learning. I feel like I'm realizing I'm slower at it than I want to be, but it's cool just, getting the experience. The funniest thing is apparently I use Studio One for recording unless I just don't know how to do it. I can only do 4 bars of like the pre-count. So I've got to like sit where I am now, press record, run over behind the drums, put the headphones on, pick up the sticks, and like the second song that we've been working on, I won't say the name because we're not doing that yet. It starts with the drums. And the take that I sent you guys, the final take, I sat down like 1 beat before I had to play. And I was just
wow.
Like, I'm hoping you can't hear me like out of breath because I'm fat, just like, But, yeah, I don't know. It's been a lot of fun. And I think, too, hearing the demos that you guys had originally done and keeping that in mind, but also being able to just add what I want. Certain songs I write, like I'll listen to the demo and actually write parts. I probably never go over 90%. I always leave like at least 10% to just make up when I record. But yeah, it's been fun. The first song, I didn't really do that. The second song, as I was like playing the first take, I'm like, ooh, this is a good idea. I need to do this the next time and kind of add it to it. So Yeah, I'm all about leaving that room when you're recording, just for, that pure like creative influence.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I've enjoyed it, man. I'm excited to be doing this.
that's very cool. Yeah, I never understood. I could never. Drummers typically, I guess, lay down their tracks first.
Yeah.
I would never be able to do that. I'm kind of a diva. To have the vocals on the track, I have to have the bass, at least the bass and drums.
Yeah.
Ideally, nothing without like the piano and maybe guitar or whatever. I don't know whatever's on the track, but the bass has to be there for me to feel like I'm filling out the correct space. It's weird.
I feel that.
So then, Nick, we threw. Well, I don't say we. Paul threw his tracks back to us, and then you took those. I guess we could have either. It could have been me first or you first, but you got to them first. What's your process been like?
The first time I literally just sat down and tried to figure out how to get it to sound right. The whole first session was just completely wasted because it was just me clicking over and this sounded bad, so let's move the mic a little bit. It was a nightmare. And I realized
I've been there. That's why I'm saying like that. I'm like that.
I realized firsthand just how obnoxious I am as a guitarist. Because like I'll play something and I'll get the part right, but it doesn't feel right to me. So I'm like, no, that's not it. Let's do it again. And like having to be the one to actually punch in and out is awful.
I don't enjoy. I don't know. I'll say this. I prefer to record my vocals by myself because that's where I have to punch in and out the most. And that's where I'm like, I don't feel confident about that. I want to try it again. I don't know how you've done it for the past couple records, Nick, and I'm glad you're kind of doing it on your own now, because I'm sure that if you're anything like me, it opens up a little more freedom. You're like more ready to...
Yeah.
You're not upset that you have to try again because the only person you're affecting is you.
Yeah. It's been nice because like the bass tracks that I've done, those are like the 9th or 10th take.
Oh, dang, really?
Are the ones that actually got on there. Yeah. And a lot of it was like what Paul was talking about. Like you play it and then you're like, oh, this would be cool. So then you go back and try it. Like on that last one in the solo break, there's a little run that I threw in there that just came about last minute.
I like that. Yeah, I heard that one. I was like, oh man.
But yeah, and that was it. Like, is just able to just like try again. And then like the only one that I've got guitars done on, that was like three different sessions, and it was kind of nice. Like that seems like a long time, and truthfully, like normally it would be like 3 sessions to just nail one guitar take. But like it was nice because I got to try different effects and try different tones and different attacks and stuff like that, and it worked out nice. So like in that essence, yeah, it was cool recording on my own, but quite frankly, I don't enjoy the distance recording.
Here's what I would like to see for our next studio thing is that we actually like hit the studio and record with less tracking, like still track, but do as much as that we can together.
Yeah.
I think that would be a fun way to try it. Anyway, so if anyone's curious how the rest of the process will go, Nick, so say we take our first track that we're working on, Nick has laid down the guitar, Nick has laid down the bass, I'm going to take it, lay down. If there's piano, I'll lay that down and then fill it up with some synthesizers.
Yeah.
And then I will drop the vocals in. And then, so I've always liked to do it this way. I have no clue what the harmonies sound like in the song. So I'll drop the main vocal in and then double anything that needs to be doubled. I don't know how much doubling I'll do on this record. And then I'll just listen through, and at some point my brain will go, harmony right there. I never understand that part of it, but that's how the harmonies get there.
I like it.
There's no scientific.
There's some on the one that I recorded guitar for. There's some lead doubling, just to kind of make it feel a little bit bigger. Which was a new experience because I had to play. It's different playing like a rhythm because that's like a set thing. Like it's very scientific, but leads only have a little bit of science to them. Like the rhythm is there, but like your pedals can react a different way and stuff like that. So I had to that took 5 or 6 takes just to get them lined up.
I will say the first guitar take that you sent us, well, not the first take, but the first, you said, this is the guitar part minus there's a, I won't even say what there is. There's a section of guitar focus. And you said, here it is. And so the hook for the song comes in, and your part on the actual song is different than it was in the demo. And I was like, what the heck? He changed it? And then I heard it on the second break, and I was like, oh, dang, that's a lot better. I like that a lot. Like, after I just got used to the fact that it wasn't what I'd heard on the demo so many times, it sounds amazing.
Like, just a little bit behind, like, my thought behind for that, it was, so, like, the intro or the break, that hook is broken into 4 parts. Mm-hmm. It's like major, major, minor, major, I think is how you played it. Am I right?
For the verse, yeah. I think it's the same for the intro. But essentially, like, that repetitive, almost like sequenced guitar riff, once it was put in there, still felt sterile. Like it felt like a demo. Sure.
So adding that third phrase, changing it just a little bit, helped make it feel like it completed like a story arc in just a little hook.
Yeah, I can agree.
I like it.
What's crazy is that I think, well, no, that was going to divulge a lot of information. All I'll say is that the vibe of the song to me feels very much like the vibe of what it's supposed to. It's a thematic thing, and I think the theme is coming across just fine.
Yeah.
So
I would agree.
I'm digging it.
Hey, so I almost sent this, but then I didn't because I messed up a part. But for the second song, after I did, the final take, I was like, I'm just going to do something stupid. So I did one that was all like metal beats, like double bass and thrash beats and a big nasty breakdown. But I got off time because I was like, I'm not even going to turn the click on. I'm just going to go.
I'm not going to lie.
Embarrassing. But don't be surprised if you get one of these. Yes.
On the second one, I'm glad that you talked about that one because there's 2 things. One, I love where you hit the bell.
I knew you would. I knew you were going to be about it.
I think we could build that part up more.
It's got to stay in there because I have a lead part that I'm going to put in there.
Oh, sweet.
That's going to go along straight with it. That's why the bass does what it does there. But then also talking about like telling a story through it on the last refrain, on the last chorus of the second song.
Yeah.
Instead of playing the phrase starting on a high F for the bass line and ending on a low F, it starts on a high F and goes back to a high F.
As I was thinking you were talking about, people are going to be like, this is getting obnoxious, but like I thought you were talking about the first song. I was like, that song's an E flat. Well, I mean, I guess it could have had an F in it, but I was like,
I mean, we could.
It's like, you're nowhere close.
Wait, these songs are in keys? I just hit drums.
I was going to say, Paul, I mean, like, you and Nick both have kind of some metal in your blood.
We do.
I mean, we all have a little metal in our blood.
Iron.
But yes. Yeah, that's what it's called. I was trying to think of it. I meant, like, the genre, obviously.
We both really enjoy bacon.
Yeah. Oh, dude, yes. Yeah. Amen, brother. I don't know. I just think at some point, the OK is going to be this awesome, big, grand thing, and then we're going to do just a metal side project just for fun. But 80s metal. It's going to sound like Blessed by a Broken Heart, Nick.
The vocals are what, it's vocals in 80s metal is very different attack than what's now. But what I was going to say
you could do it.
Is like, that's what I enjoy about bands like 5 Seconds of Summer. Is all of their production is very, very glistening pop. Like when the record comes out, it's like the drums really aren't even drums. The guitars kind of get fused into the synths, that kind of thing. But then if you watch those guys play live, the drums are like kicking. They really kind of hard, I wouldn't even call it metal, more like heavier rock and roll type stuff. But they really make it heavier. But it fits so well. So I could almost see that happening with some of our stuff, kind of influence it, or rather, let it be influenced more by our roots or your guys' roots. Hopefully, I don't start singing like I don't know. Start singing like Adam Young.
Just a small side note. I read an article about like why live stuff, like why bands don't sound the same live anymore, and it's because of it actually, like, the article talked about like this whole history. I'm not going to get into all that nerdy stuff, but like when iPods and MP3 players were first a thing, they used such a compressed algorithm that started shifting people's ears to prefer more polished sounds because they sound bigger through headphones.
Oh yeah. Okay, that makes sense to me.
Interesting.
Yeah, whereas previously people were listening on car radios just for fun or hi-fi systems that they had in their house.
Yeah.
So like either you had a lot of clarity in the sound or you had none at all. And now everything is very compressed and close to your ear. So now, like, instead of having that like hard rock or organic like drum sound, you have that like 808 or drum machine sound, and that's just kind of what's palatable for popular music.
It's crazy. Makes sense though.
Yeah,
it was a speculation article, but I mean, like, it made sense to me. So
makes sense to me. Taylor bought me AirPods for Christmas, and it makes me sad that I can't flex on you gents, because my interface only has what is it, 1/4 inch headphone out. So
you're flexing just enough by having them. I'm not jealous.
That's why I brought them up. I can't go. It's kind of like being vegan. You got to let people know you're on.
Oh, you know what's great AirPods though? No,
I know.
You know, it's great though is even if I wanted to have AirPods, they don't stay in my ears.
Oh,
I've never liked Apple headphones. See, I like everything else that Apple makes.
I hear that from a lot of people.
Headphones.
Like Taylor. Oh gosh, we are not worth a lot of money. But Taylor also has a pair of AirPods, and she had to get the silicone gummy things, like they put on the Pros, but we have the regular ones, so she had to get that stick in her ear.
Yeah, that sleeve that goes on them.
Yeah, but no, the iPod, the weird. Oh, I just dropped it.
Those.
Yeah, the weird. I liked the round ones before they changed it to these, but these fit in my ear amazing. Like, I've never had issues with these.
Nope.
Yeah.
Just been using Skull Candies.
Taylor always tells me, this is so dumb. Taylor always says I have small ears. Do you guys feel like I have small ears?
I mean,
I feel like that's a weird question. I feel like I used to, and then I did something to them.
Ayo. Yeah, when you're gonna bring those to the next level so I can throw a tennis ball through them?
They're not. They're gonna. They've been at a 9/16 for, gosh, since we've met.
Yeah, probably. I always loved that when that whole thing was really big, and especially in the metal scene.
Oh yeah, the like
guys just had the huge gauges, so you could, literally.
That's how you knew that the pit was about to get real, is when they'd take them out.
Oh yeah, dude, scary times. Yeah, now I'm old. I buy balcony tickets and watch all the young people destroy themselves.
I think that's the weirdest thing for me is I love playing live shows, but I hate listening to loud live music. I like it at a palatable level. Like, I would enjoy like a soft rock concert in like a theater. I don't know what that is.
With your earphones in still.
No, yeah, he wears
I wear earplugs. Well, acoustic filters more like it, but yeah. I have to wear filters to shows, otherwise I just die by the end of the night.
You do what you gotta do.
We played I don't know if this was before or after Youngstown last year.
This was after. Oh God, are you talking about Cincinnati?
Yeah, Cincinnati. We played at this place, and the sound guy was kind of like, we bonded with the sound guy over this. I wish I could remember his name. I have it written down somewhere. I kept a log of that stuff. But we get into the first band. The drummers, first off, the first band brought two full stacks?
The bass player
brought 2 full stacks,
yeah.
Right? And the guitarist had 2 amps, and the guys, they were like, hey, do you think this would be enough power? And he was like, yeah, it's good.
it was an Ampeg full stack. So I think it was like 6 speakers in each cab.
And so the sound guy's like,
that's ridiculous.
Kind of walking by us, he goes, "Yeah, I think blah blah blah. I don't know how many watts it was. It's going to be enough for this room because it was just a small club. It wasn't big." And then the drummer is just smacking the crap out of the snare. And when we go up there to sound check, the sound guy's like, "Yeah, try not to hit all of your drums as hard as you freaking can." We're like, "All right, yeah, loud and clear." But yeah, that stuff kills me because in the third band was like this super cool kind of fusion reggae sort of group. It was weird. Like the main guy was dressed up like Steven Tyler.
Wow.
And but then they did like, I don't know, it was like reggae music, I think.
Interesting.
But
so like
I say I think because they were wickedly loud, and I have no clue what they actually sounded like.
But to be fair, like, because that was one of our like first like tours. It was. All of those bands were in, like, it was the first one that we had booked ourselves. All of those bands were like way too big to be playing in that venue, which the venue and the bands, both great, both awesome. But it was like if you were to take like Metallica and say, "Hey, you need to go play in that coffee shop over there." Like, they're just not prepared to go do that.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to get the same thing. Like, it was just, yeah.
Yeah. Those are the ones you remember, though.
By the end of the night, like, I almost couldn't hear myself talking.
I remember trying to, Nick at one point is like, "I'm squaring up with the bar." And we were like, "What are you talking about?" He was like, I was like, "The show's not over." He was almost like, doesn't matter.
He was like, "Yeah, it is. It's done."
Nick's ears were ringing so bad that he was like, check with the bar, and they were like, "Yeah, we'll square up with the other bands." And so we were like, "Great show, guys. See you later."
Great job,
awesome,
guys. Man.
So
time.
I don't know. You guys have any fun topics of conversation?
Oh boy. Just out of curiosity, what's the weather like down there?
Oh gosh.
Hold on.
About what, 70-ish?
69 and mostly cloudy.
Yeah, I've got to mow after we're done with this podcast. I have to go outside and mow.
Hold on. There you go.
Wow. It's 70 up here, but it hasn't been. This is the first day it's been 70 in a long time. And it is warm in this little studio room, but
You still have the trendy jacket weather going on, which is,
I love trendy jacket weather.
You guys are speaking my language.
I love sweater weather too, though.
the song.
I liked sweater weather until I found out that the lead singer of The Neighborhood was a man. I thought it was a woman, and it was just a very artistic kind of gender bender song,
Wait, for real?
Yeah. I thought it was a woman,
awesome.
and then I was like, "As a dude?"
I saw them.
Props to that guy. I
in
love the voice, but I
2013.
just didn't get it.
Open for Imagine Dragons. It was a great show.
Is Imagine Dragons good live? They look so cool live. They look
Dude.
so energetic.
They were amazing back then, but I honestly don't really like their music anymore. So this was like right when Night Visions came out, and they were like killing it. And their live show was incredible. But yeah.
Let's play this game real quick. What's the best concert you've ever been to?
Oh, this is the worst game for me because I'm indecisive.
That's so tough.
Oh gosh, can
we just talk about good ones, or do we have to narrow it down?
Well, it's just what's the first good one? Let's say this. You don't have to rank it. What's the first good one that comes to mind?
I saw Gym Class Heroes open for Fall Out Boy last year.
What? Last year?
Was that the one with MGK?
Was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. Yeah, it was because they weren't on the bill at all. They didn't sell us. Caitlin surprised me with tickets to go see Fall Out Boy. And we got there, and MGK was the opener, is what it said on there. And his music's okay. Not a huge fan, but like it was still cool. But then you know how they have like a small setup, like in front of the stage, and like arena shows. So they had this tiny little setup, and it looked like a convenience store. and I saw like the name of the convenience store was like Upstate New York's Finest, and I was like, that's Gym Class Heroes.
Dude.
And they just like, I guess because them and Fall Out Boy are like tight.
Oh yeah.
They were the ones that opened up, and it was phenomenal. They played hits off of literally every record they had.
That's awesome.
Dang, dude. Wow.
I have not been to many concerts, I will say that. But obviously my favorite one was when I saw The Fray. But
yeah,
it was at the Louisville Palace, and that's a crazy cool venue, very ornate. And something went wrong with the amps on the entire like all of stage left, and so their guitarist wasn't able to play any leads for like the whole night, and so they eventually just said, "All right, forget it. We're just gonna do acoustic stuff." So it was cool. It wasn't what I was hoping, and now obviously the Fray doesn't really tour anymore. Well, no one tours anymore, technically, but
can't be doing that.
That was cool. And then the one I missed, the one that got away, if you will, when the Night Game first toured. Well, it wasn't the first tour, but it was their like the Night Game's release tour. They were going to play at the Basement in Nashville, and was it the Basement?
We missed so many bands.
I think it was the Basement. There. And I said, Nick, will you go with me? And he was like, yeah. And he was like, well, I actually won't be able to. And so I was like, oh, well, I really should bring someone because you really shouldn't go to shows alone. And then I was like, forget it. I'm going to the show. And then I went on to buy the ticket like last minute, sold out. So
Dang.
Then I was super excited for them to start touring again. And now no one's touring. And I'm like, am I going to see them? And then, but yeah, the Fray, long story short.
I like that. I respect that. God, dude, this is so hard. Well, one of them, I can't say this is top. I mean, probably top 5, but it was 2013. It was The Chariot, For Today, As I Lay Dying, and The Devil Wears Prada.
Oh,
and it
man.
was like the greatest. Well, I'll be real. For Today's not a band anymore. I don't think any of those. Well, Chariot's not a band either, and the other two aren't Christian anymore. I don't believe. But it was like a month before Tim Lambesis went to jail and all that crap. But it was amazing. It was like such a cool. All those bands were very influential for me for like heavy stuff. So
can I say I wouldn't be able to name like the most famous song for any of those bands.
Yeah.
But just by reputation and like knowing they're excellent bands, just by that alone, I got excited listening. I was like, I'd go to that show.
Dude, it was The Chariot was one of the best bands live ever. Like they were just insane. More time in the crowd than on stage, and it was just absolutely amazing. But yeah, and As I Lay Dying is probably one of the tightest metal bands I've ever seen live. It was just, they were so spot on. It was ridiculous.
I gotta say, the only metal bands I've ever seen live were like bad.
Oh, who'd you see?
A lot.
The
first 2 years we were doing Ocean City shows, we kept getting booked with metal bands because that's
for real.
All that Louisville had was metal.
We came in at the end of the scene wave, and like the metalcore wave that happened. So that's when Ocean City started. We started touring around in 2014.
Okay.
So like things were starting to just trail off a little bit. So like we were literally like our first few shows were just metal band after metal band after metal band, and then it was us doing like indie pop stuff.
Yeah.
But then like the first big show that we played was in New Albany, Indiana.
Oh, that was awesome. Wait,
it was so great. Not
Production
Expo
House.
5, Production House.
Oh, okay, yeah. That was almost like an emo show. Like that was kind of almost like sad.
So the headlining band was Too Close to Touch.
Yeah,
really,
and they were like really into us.
Dude.
Yeah, like the guitar player came up to me and Zach after the show and was like, "Great set, guys. That was awesome." And then like, because I had never heard of them before because I think they were just touring on their first album, and I was like, "Thanks, man." He's like, "Well, I'll see you later," and then he like disappeared and went outside. And like, little did I know, like he was getting on the bus, like,
dang,
like he was actually like doing his thing.
So,
dude, that's so cool.
Not to take away from your story, but I remember at that time I was still like super green. You know, I was like, people would say, "Oh, you guys were great," and I would be like, "Thank you very much. I appreciate that so much." Like I was just really chipper and bubbly all the time. And so I remember, I might have been that same guy, but one of the guys from Too Close to Touch was like, "Hey, man, really great stuff." And I was like, "Oh, hey, thank you." He's like, "Yeah, it was really great." And I go, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Like I was just, and he goes, "Yeah, you're welcome." Like, and then he just took off. I was like, he was almost like,
was so
"Why
funny.
are you acting so weird about this?"
Oh man,
Yeah,
it's that whole bands
people-
talking to other bands etiquette thing.
bands talking to other bands is the weirdest interaction you'll see on the planet. If
Yeah.
they're playing the same bill, at least. Other
We
than
should
that,
do
it's
a
like
whole
it's so
podcast
laid back.
episode on that sometime.
We should
Oh,
bring
yeah.
other bands on the podcast. People need to hear this story. I don't know if we talked about this already, but the promoter, a promoter for a show
Okay.
was also a musician, and they offered to replace this person, their match, like who played that instrument in our band. And when we were like, "Yeah, no thanks, dude," that promoter stopped booking us.
Wow.
Like hard
Wow.
stopped booking us.
And,
they had booked us for like 4
yeah.
shows in a row for like
They
a
were like,
solid month.
they said, "You guys are
every
my new
weekend."
favorite local band," and we were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's awesome." And then,
Oh, what was the one? He was like, "I've got so and so coming through," and it was like a big name. And he was like,
"Oh,
"You
it's
guys would be
huge.
perfect
It's gonna
for
be
it."
amazing." And then he
Um,
was like, "Also, I want to be your new insert instrument here," and we were like, "We have one already. Sorry."
And then it
You
was
know-
radio silence. Like,
I mean, we're not
stop
gonna
getting shows from him.
we're not gonna name names, but was this a Louisville promoter?
It was a local
Okay.
promoter.
I know a few. That's why it's just funny.
If you know the scene in that specific town that we're talking about, then you probably know this guy.
That's so funny.
But that's crazy to me. And I'm not saying that as like we were the greatest or anything, but it's
Yeah.
interesting how the dynamic of talking to other people in the music business is insane. There's not enough room in this world to be a jerk
Yeah.
and to be a little too bold with people. So,
I feel that.
all right, guys. Well, it's been like almost an hour.
Dude.
I feel
good
like
stuff.
the format of
Wow.
this cast, right? It's got to be. We can't talk for like 3 hours.
No, not
We should do
yet.
it 4 hours. It's an hour per week, and then by the time they're done with the podcast, they'll be ready for another one, right?
It's true. It's true. I feel
All right.
good.
Well, yeah.
What a month. I'm just still amazed that we did this a month ago. Like it feels like maybe
Yeah.
2 weeks.
I feel
Yeah.
like we should have accomplished more, but I also feel like we've accomplished so much.
Yes, I would agree.
It feels weird to be starting a new project and to be completely disregarding our live schedule. You know,
I
like we
agree.
just have an online presence at this point.
Yeah.
You know,
But it's good.
We'd be staying warm with a few, smaller shows at this point if we were able to get out and about.
Yeah.
I can't
Oh,
wait for that. But
The buzz. I think I'm gonna wait. Mask on, of course. I'm gonna wait outside the barbershop on Monday.
are you guys
has,
open up?
Yeah, Kentucky has said barbershops on Monday.
We're in phase 2,
I forget what phase.
right?
TJ Maxx was supposed to open yesterday, and everyone at at work was going crazy. And I was like, "You're not going to catch me trying to venture outside into public to go to TJ Maxx." Actually, that really to go anywhere, but
Man,
TJ Maxx.
honestly, like all of this, the biggest thing that it's taught me is like how little I really need to go out into
Yeah.
public, and like
Tell
how
you-
much I just did out of like boredom.
The only time I'm saying I have to go out is when I want to order pizza from a local spot because I'm not going to pay for delivery, and when I need some Mexican food. Those have been the
Oh,
two
Mexican food.
consistently that have been like, I've got to
Dude.
do it.
I
Tacos.
need Mexican food now.
All right, well, we will end on that. Have you guys had dinner?
I did. I had pizza.
Let's go get some dinner, guys.
All right, I'll be there in 7 hours.
Gosh.
Yeah, wow.
I hope you guys will still be hungry.
How
That's kind of
crazy
funny.
that
Like
we could do
Zach
that.
and I record on opposite ends of the town. Like he's on one end of the city, I'm on the other end.
Yep.
Paul, you're like complete opposite end of the country.
I'm almost in another country.
Wow.
Yeah, it's great.
What country is it?
Canada, bro.
Just kidding. I was wearing the Canada shirt. Just being dumb.
I know. We
Okay,
talked about
everybody.
this, Zach. All right, good stuff, guys.
Yep, excellent stuff. Hey, listeners, viewers, I don't know, I just made those weird finger guns. But we are the OK. We would love for you to check us out. Music is coming very, very soon. Hopefully, if you're subscribed to the podcast, you're aware of that. But, consider this just a way to get to know us a little better. We can't wait to see you in person. And for now, just enjoy the podcast. We have... Oh, I did want to... It sounded like I was wrapping up, didn't it?
Almost.
How have you guys been enjoying these blogs? Because writing a blog every week,
True.
And we only have to do it every 3 weeks. It's way harder than I thought it was going to be.
Same.
I could podcast every day.
About.
I don't know what to talk about on the blog.
I agree. It's stretching me. I appreciate it.
But that's good, yeah. So hopefully, all that to say, I hope you guys are also enjoying the blog. We truly want our website to be a hub for everything that we do. And so for now, when there's no music for you to, put on your playlist or add to your phone or download from LimeWire or whatever you do for music.
LimeWire.
LimeWire, wow. Bringing me back.
Make sure you check out the blog and check out the podcast. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel, that sort of thing. Whatever. Doesn't matter. WeAreTheOK.com is where all that stuff resides. And you can also check us out. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at WeAreTheOK.com. And hey, if you would like to submit a question or just comment on the podcast, ooh that's a good one, right? We would love to hear from you. You can email us, wearetheok@gmail.com.
Whoop, whoop.
Because we're not made of money. So we got a Gmail.
Oh, speaking of not made of money, there's merch on the website now.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You guys want to support?
We're poor.
You know what? I was thinking about that. I kind of felt bad for releasing our merch like right in the midst of this where people are like unable to pay for certain, but it's out there. If you want to support the band, we're also broke, and so we're all broke together. So, go check out some merch. There's plenty of stuff there. We also have we will not make any guarantees that this will prevent coronavirus, but we have what we are dubbing the Corona Buster with the OK logo.
Sweet.
So,
And they're
facial
just
covering.
the face masks.
I don't know that
but
those
all
are...
the stuff, just real quick for anybody that is listening to it on here and then thinking about getting merch, it is made to order merch. It's not like it's just sitting around in a warehouse or anything. They make it specifically for you when you order it. So
yeah, and so that's kind of a very cool thing. There's sometimes like a little imperfection or this or that, and it's because it's specifically like a one-off. They don't, it's not a huge line of pristinely machine press stuff, but it is good quality stuff. We print on, quality. What would that guy say? They're comfortable quality
fashion tees.
I don't know. Ooh. Anyway, it's good stuff. I would wear it. I might wear it once I figure out what size I want to wear.
Word.
What?
I said word.
Oh, I thought you said large. I was like, you might be off on that one.
Nah, bro, you're like a medium now. All this keto weight you've been losing.
Yeah, no joke.
No, whatever. All right, we'll talk about that next podcast. I'll have a whole big thing. We'll talk about keto and AirPods.
Oh, down. Cool.
Keto and AirPods.
All right. Well, this has been the podcast. We'll see you guys next month.
Bye, everybody. Be okay.
Bye.
All right, I'm not recording anymore.
Yeah, I got